as you're transporting boxes to make sure you keep the Christmas ornament in the exact spot, with the golf shirt and the classified documents, like, things get moved around.
Right, but there's no standard for that. I don't even understand what the legal argument is.
This totally wins my case, Except it is like highly confidential, secret. This is secret information. But look at this. You attack.
A new filing by Special Prosecutor Jack Smith's team reveals never-before-seen photos from the FBI's search of Mar-a-Lago, where they found stolen classified documents belonging to Trump. And folks, it's worse than we thought. The images show top-secret documents stashed among Trump's personal junk, creating a chaotic scene that's both shocking and absurd. It's like a frat house meets a government archive. This isn't the first time Trump's defense has seemed downright ridiculous. He's tried every trick in the book to dodge responsibility for this mess, but these photos speak volumes. Let's face it, these desperate antics only make him look guiltier. The FBI found crucial state secrets mingling with golf gear and personal garbage. Are we seriously considering this guy for president again? Trump's tactics are backfiring big time.
It's a busy day for Donald Trump ahead of what will be a very consequential week for the criminally convicted former president.
That young, inexperienced judge of Cannon's sort would disrespect her chief judge.
It's clear the more he talks, the deeper he digs his own hole. I think the reason we're seeing these bizarre photos is even stranger than you might think. Trump and his lawyers concocted a genius plan to get him off the hook and have the case thrown out. Trump claims that when the FBI searched Mar-a-Lago, the agents mishandled the evidence, improperly securing the documents, and therefore the case should be dismissed due to a lack of proper evidence. Seriously, if the FBI mishandled documents, what about Trump, who kept top-secret state secrets scattered on the floor with dirty lawn, spilled Diet Coke, and other unmentionables? This defense is beyond ridiculous. Trump's place was such a mess with important state documents mixed in with his personal junk. It's a wonder they found anything at all. He's trying to outsmart Prosecutor Smith, but let's be real, his chances aren't great. Still, with Judge Cannon in his corner, he's got a fighting chance for an acquittal. Trump's tactics are getting more desperate and laughable. It's clear that he's running out of options, and his attempts to wriggle out of this mess are just digging him deeper into trouble. These photos don't lie. They show a chaotic and careless attitude towards national security. If anything, Trump should just stay quiet because his explanations are making things worse. Quick recap. Back in May 2021, just 4 months after leaving office, the National Archives asked Trump to return missing documents. Months later, a Trump representative admitted there were 12 boxes of such materials at Mar-a-Lago. Eventually, the National Archives got back 15 boxes, 14 containing classified info, with some documents torn up by Trump. By May 2022, the Justice Department issued a subpoena for any classified documents at Trump's residence, expecting them by month's end.
Weaponization of law enforcement is the greatest threat to freedom in America today, I think. And nobody knows it better than...
Her experience is slim, and Aaron, it's proving to be somewhat of a major liability.
Trump knows that claiming the FBI mishandled his T-shirts or soda cans won't nullify a case where his guilt is so evident. This tactic is just a stalling strategy, buying him time to see if his other schemes, like his appeals to the Supreme Court, will work out, or if he can come up with a better plan. His goal is to delay the inevitable, hoping for a miracle that will somehow save him from the legal repercussions of his actions. The Supreme Court has a blockbuster week ahead, and it's looking intense for Trump. With just days left before the end of June deadline to finish their opinions, 14 major Trump-related cases are still undecided. The biggest one is whether Trump has immunity from criminal prosecution. This decision could make or break his future, whether he ends up in jail or gets to do whatever he wants if he becomes president again. This is a monumental moment for Trump and the country. Seriously. Meanwhile, Trump seems to be shaking in his boots about what's coming. The court's decisions will have a huge impact, and you can bet Trump is watching closely. The stakes are incredibly high, not just for him, but for the entire nation. The Supreme Court is also tackling issues related to the January 6th defendants, social media regulations, and federal agency powers. Trump has been stalling his criminal trial in D.C. for months. How? By claiming presidential immunity in his conspiracy case aimed at overturning the 2020 election results. He's been chanting this like a mantra, probably without even knowing what it really means. Lower courts have shut down his claim, but Trump is holding out hope that the Supreme Court might see things his way. Let's be real, it's a long shot, but it's his Hail Mary to push the trial past the election. If he wins, he can potentially squash the prosecution altogether.
Wing's supermajority agreed to hear Trump's presidential immunity claim more than 3 months ago. And its long-delayed decision is already a victory for Trump. And with each passing day, it becomes less and less likely that before the next election, Donald Trump will be held accountable for trying to overturn the last one.
Even if the Supreme Court laughs off his immunity plea, there's no guarantee his trial will kick off before November. Time's ticking, and some folks are seriously side-eyeing the judges for not putting the pedal to the metal on this one. Sure, the court's been faster than usual with his appeal, but let's be honest, it's been dragging on, and the only one who benefits from this slow dance is Trump. At the April 25th hearing, some of the court's moderate conservatives, Chief Justice John Roberts and Justice Brett Kavanaugh, hinted they weren't sold on the lower court's tough stance and thought Trump should have some immunity. Are these conservative judges seriously thinking about giving Trump immunity? Have they even seen the evidence and that leaked recording? You don't need to be a genius to figure out that Trump doesn't deserve anything from the courts except maybe a one-way ticket to a psych ward or prison. But let's not forget about Judge Cannon, the biggest Trump loyalist on the bench. She's practically bending over backwards to help him out. Every time Trump comes up with some new wild legal argument, she's right there ready to entertain it. Judge Cannon's pro-Trump behavior is so bad that even Trump's former lawyer is calling her out for corruption. Seriously, when people from Trump's own side are saying how wrong her actions are, you know something seriously messed up. Her blatant bias and favoritism towards Trump are so obvious it's like a neon sign flashing corrupt in bright bold letters. It's hard to miss and even harder to ignore. Cobb slammed Cannon for dragging her feet on the Mar-a-Lago documents case. She's been slow-walking this case and refusing to set a trial date until she reviews all the pre-trial motions. Democrats have accused Cannon of slow-walking the case, with Senator Sheldon Whitehouse saying she's stalling so that if Trump wins the election, he can just shut down the investigation and prosecution.
Having a hearing rather than just denying the motion, as Judge Scheinland pointed out previously on CNN, is silly. The fact she doesn't deny most of these motions without a hearing is silly.
A matter of inexperience. She is sitting in a satellite courthouse by herself in Fort Pierce. There is no senior judge to help her along.
A lot of people are seriously worried about the rule of law in this country and all the ways it's being attacked. We've got a former president who's always crying foul, saying the system is rigged and that it's a political witch hunt whenever he's being accused of crimes to stop him from running for president. But of course, he only says that when things aren't going his way. Take Judge Merchan, for example, in the hush money case with Stormy Daniels. Merchan is a seasoned judge who knows how to run a criminal trial. But when it's someone like Judge Cannon who does all these bizarre things that benefit Trump, suddenly he's silent about the system being flawed. What a hypocrite. The most telling part of this whole situation is that people have been openly telling Judge Cannon that she's in over her head, that this case is too much for her. They've suggested that if she feels any sympathy for the defense, aka Trump, she should recuse herself because she can't be impartial. But she stubbornly insists on handling the case even though it's blatantly clear that her actions are far from fair. This criticism just shows how flawed her handling of the case is. How can someone with zero experience be in charge of judging a former president? It just doesn't make any sense. Knowing how influential Trump is and how he can manipulate and scheme, it's only logical that we need a judge who is strong, experienced, and wise. Instead, we've got a rookie who's likely to fall for his tricks. This whole setup is just asking for trouble. We need someone who's seen it all and can't be easily fooled, not a beginner who's still learning the ropes.
2 senior federal judges in Florida privately urged Judge Cannon to pass off the case to another judge when it was randomly assigned to her in June 2023. She only participated on trial teams in 4 criminal trials, and since she's been on the bench as a federal judge, she's actually only presided, Aaron, over a handful of criminal trials.
With regard to Judge Cannon's behavior and her consistent rulings in Trump's favor, we're way beyond the...
But Cobb, Trump's former lawyer, has a different take. He says it's not about her being inexperienced, it's about something else entirely. Cobb believes Judge Cannon wants to help Trump because she's grateful for her judicial appointment and now wants to repay him with an acquittal. He thinks she'll do anything to stay in Trump's good graces. So, it's not about a lack of experience, it's something more dangerous. It's a calculated move to favor Trump, not ignorance or inexperience. This isn't just incompetence, it's deliberate, but it seems like nobody can stop Cannon. She doesn't realize her actions could have terrible consequences for her. She's stubbornly committed to helping Trump, even though anyone with common sense is telling her it makes no sense. Everyone knows how Trump's allies end up, like Michael Cohen in jail. The situation is pretty clear. If Biden wins, Cannon will be held accountable for her behavior because he won't tolerate such biased judges. If Trump wins, he'll turn his back on Cannon and won't give her anything. He might even want to destroy her for daring to oversee his case. So, whatever she does, it's a lose-lose situation. But the worst choice is helping Trump. Still, it seems like nothing will change her mind.